Hey, what's up, men's room? This is TJ for week 21, and the topic this week is finances, as you might have seen from some of the posts from the other guys so far. So, talking about how we've done our financing, what some of the obstacles might have been that we've been facing, and maybe some advice that we have. Um, so, right now, in this point of my life, I find myself in more of a fortunate place than I have been in the past. Um, I have my first time professional position for about a year now, a little over a year now, and that's helped me put money aside. Because I'm not an American citizen, I find that to be an obstacle oftentimes in fundraising here. One of the things I couldn't do as a student, for example, is utilize financial aid to do a little saving. I know a lot of friends who did that to supplement some um, saving that they were doing for transition and surgery and all of that was um, to utilize FAFSA, but international students can't use FAFSA because it's federal. It's just for Americans. Um, so that wasn't accessible to me, and typically any sort of scholarships or other things that were accessible to me, which tended to be limited, um, went straight to the institution. Wouldn't really come by me at any point, so I couldn't utilize that, which was fine, and it was what it was. Um, Now, with having a job, while it's not the most glamorous position or great paying or anything like that, it is an education after all. Um, One of the positives of my job is that being in res life, I'm accommodated with an apartment as part of compensation because the job requires me to live on campus. Um, so I don't have the typical bills associated with apartment living, home living, and all of that. So I was able to put aside, on average, about $800 to $1,000 a month um, to fundraise for my top surgery. And I managed to do that in about 10 months, 8 to 10 months. So that was all inclusive in terms of the surgery costs, the travel costs, hotel costs, um, all of that stuff. And also paying for my friend who came with me. So I was able to do that. I was in that position. I was very lucky to be in that position. Um, like I said, I've had to do a lot of things out of pocket because of my citizenship status, or I guess lack of citizenship status in this country. Um, so I don't really the insurance policies that I have access to again are limited, are often tied to whatever my position is here, or when I was a student to student insurance. So those things don't typically cover anything around transition. So I've had to be judicious about my spending and my finances and just budget really strictly, which for anyone who knows me is a little difficult for me to do because I really enjoy shopping, but whatever. One thing that I did do with the help of my friends and the leadership of my friends at some level when I was a student, I was struggling my last year of college to pay for everything. I didn't have an assistantship, so I actually needed to fundraise for that and not necessarily transition, but I guess that's just kind of an idea for folks to use. Some of my friends got together and did this thing. We called it Eats for Education. We just basically would have these monthly dinners where there would be three-course meals that people would pay a certain amount to just kind of do a social gathering with home cooked meals. College students would appreciate the opportunity to do that once a month, so it wouldn't be that big a deal to put in the cash for it. Oftentimes, people would donate a lot more than what we would ask for. So that was one source of fundraising. We didn't do it too much, so it wasn't a great source, but it was one. Another thing was that I was involved with a troop called Drag King Rebellion, and for that semester, my troop members actually decided that they would put a big chunk of the money that we were making at shows towards keeping me in school. So drag troops are oftentimes really, really great sources to do shows, to utilize for people kind of promoting other programs that you're doing for fundraising and so on. I've heard of a lot of guys that will do surgery fundraisers around shows. So that's definitely one thing. I'm sorry that I can't really offer too much advice around insurances and insurance policies and that sort of thing, since I haven't really utilized it, haven't really talked to people about them, and that's not something that I'm willing to temper with in my life at this point, just because I don't want to give um, any more reason for people to, or organizations or the government to um, find ways to, I guess, like jeopardize my status in this country. So I don't mess with things like that. What can I say? Um, Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just the whole budgeting thing is big. Just trying to minimize expenses and all of that stuff, which can be really, really hard, especially I found to be hard in college when I first started coming out, and I decided that I needed to change my wardrobe because it didn't really match my gender identity anymore. So there was a lot of shopping that happened around clothes and all of that. So any sort of savings went to that. Um, but now I have a really sweet wardrobe, I guess. And that's just as much a part of transition as testosterone or surgery or anything else is. So I guess it's not money wasted. Um, in any case, I would also look up resources online. I haven't tended to utilize them again for various reasons, but there's a bunch of resources online for people to help each other out. There's binder exchange programs, for example, guys who've had surgery who donate their slightly used binders or to folks who can't afford to buy them since they're pretty expensive. Um, you can find organizations will pop up here and there, so that's why I'm not listing them right now, because most of the time they don't really last that very long. But small little pockets of communities will gather around fundraising for each other, for a specific person, or just in general. So I would just Google and do a little research, especially see if there's anything local happening that you'd want to support, or you'd want to go to find support around that. Like I said, they just kind of come in and out depending on um, what's going on around you. So it's really difficult to just kind of list them aside. So just look about. That's all for me at this point. I'm sorry this is kind of scattered brain. It's really late at night, but hope everyone has a great week, and looking forward to the next few videos.